Hey everyone, this is Darin Kidd. Hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome. Do me a favor as you join. Let me know where you're watching from, what city, state, province in Canada, what country. I want to give you a few quick shout outs, and definitely excited about our guest speaker today. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about quite a few different things. So, you may want to tag some of your friends, people that you think may get some good value out of this, which is pretty much everyone that you know, because Dr. Fab has a ton of information and value to share with you today. So let's do this. As you come on board, let me know where you're watching. I'm just going to make sure. Last night we had a few technical issues, so I want to make sure if someone can let me know if you can hear me okay, I would really appreciate that. Let me know if I'm loud and clear. My wife says I'm definitely loud. Just, hey, Pete, if you can let me know if you can hear me okay, that would be awesome. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, Eliz, thanks for joining. Hey, Becky. All right. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate you letting me know. Becky was on there last night where we were a little muffled. All right. And then I'm going to change a privacy setting on my Facebook page, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So let's do this. Let me say hi to a few people. Luis, welcome. Thanks for joining. Hey, John from the Netherlands. We appreciate you jumping on. Let's see what we have. We have Mary from Minnesota. We have Paulina from Mexico. Great to see you again, Paulina. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started because I know that when we come back on the replay, it's I don't like to have too much on the beginning when we get started. First of all, if you did not get a chance last night, we had Sean Cannell, who is one of the top, YouTube experts in the world. He's a best-selling author. He has 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. His videos have been, viewed over 100 million times. And he actually did a free training for our audience. And he went an hour and something and just gave so much value. That is on my Facebook page, and it's also on my YouTube channel. So just go back and watch that. And because we did have some technical difficulties, he left a promotion up for this group. So it is going to go away. So I encourage you to go back and check that out ASAP, because the great thing about YouTube is you can do a video like I did, and several years later, it's getting, thousands of views every single month. And so really when you're in the business world and you have a product or a service or something that you're passionate about, and you're getting views every single hour, even while you sleep, that's pretty powerful. And then also too, let me do this. If you could do me a favor, hey, Lucas, hey, Alex, hey, Teresa, thanks for joining. Click that share button, because there's going to be some information on here today that can, help you, your family, your loved ones. And once again, we're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about personal development. We're going to talk a little bit about network marketing. So we're going to give you so many great things on today's live. So let's go ahead and get started. So the gentleman today, let me just share with you how I met Dr. Fab. I was working with a company and several top leaders in the business world and network marketing world. And I kept hearing Dr. Fab, Dr. Fab, Dr. Fab. And to the point where I finally go, man, what is the deal with this guy named Dr. Fab? Like, why does everybody keep talking about him? And why does everybody love him? I mean, does this guy have like a paid program where he pays people to go around and be kind of like his cheerleader? Because you guys are doing an awesome job, because I can't wait to meet this Dr. Fab. And then what happened, I was in Vegas and I got to meet Dr. Fab, and then we've become friends and I've gotten to know him. And now I understand why everybody loves him so much. I understand why people just keep, singing praises about everything that he's doing, because one, he has a great heart. I see how he is helping a lot of people, and he really doesn't even look for anything in return. He's just always seeing how he can connect good people, help people. He's got a servant heart. And that's the type of person I like to hang around, and that's the person I like to learn from. And what I also love about Dr. Fab are some of the things that he's done, but he's still extremely humble. And so let me share with you a few things. So not only is he an internationally acclaimed educator, business leader, speaker, he's a best-selling author of Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul. And he's the #1 healthy living media expert out there. He is the book, The Power of Self-Healing. He has a popular radio show. I know he just launched a brand new podcast for celebrities. So only celebrities do these podcasts. And he just launched his podcast. I'm very excited. As a matter of fact, he interviewed me. And so that's on my Facebook page. It's also on his Facebook page. You can check that out. We had a great time. And he's also been featured on Dr. Phil, the TV show The Doctors, Fox News, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, Univision, Telemundo, and many others. And that's just a little bit about Dr. Fab. But again, to me, it's his heart. It's his where he's always looking to help other people. And Dr. Fab, I'm just going to tell you, I mean, I know we're going through some crazy times right now, and I have found the secret to keep me from putting my hands on my face. I've just been walking around the house keeping food in both hands. So I'm not sure if you knew that, but that's a great secret. You don't want to just keep eating, right? But Dr. Fab, that's right. Yeah, no, we really appreciate you jumping on to share some of your wisdom and your heart today with us. And so we really appreciate you joining us.
Well, thank you so much, Darin. You know, you're a mentor of mine. You have been a great friend. And I want you to know that I'm so excited and honored to be able to have this conversation with you, because I don't think we've ever seen a time like this where the whole world has been shut down, but the spirit of the human, the opportunities that are now in front of us are just in abundance. But, you know, it all starts with your mindset. And one of the things that I can tell you right now is this is not a mindset to think survival. This is a mindset to think service and be able to bring value to those that you love, those that you serve, your clients, your family, everybody you can think of. So let's start, buddy. I'm excited to have this conversation. Let's take it wherever, you know, God guides us to.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And for all of you that are sharing, thanks so much for sharing. I see we got Brian just shared. Let's see who else we have. Let me know when you share. That way I can give you a quick shout out. We appreciate that. So Dr. Fab, I know that you've done some amazing things in the chiropractic world. I know that you've, like I said, you've written books, best-selling author, been on all these TV shows. But what people, they normally don't see is the story behind the story. You know, and a lot of times they can't relate to people. They go, man, you know, you must have just been born with a silver spoon in your mouth and everything was handed to you. Yeah, I know that's what they think. But what I love about you and your heart, I know that when we were talking about all of this was just starting, you know, weeks ago, and you were saying, hey, and you were really sharing your perspective and your attitude and how you were looking at things. So if you don't mind, kind of share with people your story, what led you to where you are right now, and then I'd love to hear your perspective on how you're handling all the challenges and what we're going through.
Awesome. Well, you know, I believe everybody has a story, and mine is probably one that you wouldn't expect. I was born in Colombia, South America. You can probably tell the sexy accent. I like to think of it. And, you know, my parents came home one day, and we're 5 boys in my house. I have 4 siblings, 4 brothers. And they said that we were moving to the United States. At that time, one of the main reasons was that my dad was struggling with alcoholism, and my mom was really struggling, trying to help him. That environment was not the right environment for him. It was the environment that he had known. And because her father had allowed her to become a resident in the United States, my mom decided, why don't we go to Miami, Florida, and give your dad a chance for a fresh start, and also for us to be able to come to the land of opportunity and make anything happen. And let me share with you these 3 lessons. I want you to write this down, because really it's the foundation of the life that I created. So my mom said to us and my father, in the United States, you're going to see opportunity every day, but you have to look for them. A lot of times they're right in front of you, but you won't see it. You have to be aware of them. Not only look for them, but be aware of them. Many times the opportunities that you're looking for are right in front of you. You're just distracted, so your focus goes somewhere else. Once you find that opportunity, they said, then you have to have certainty that you are the person to be able to make that happen, right? Because sometimes you're going to think about things and you're going to share with other people. And the statistics are at least 9 out of those 10 people that you share with are going to talk you out of it. They're going to tell you that no one in this family ever went to college. No one in this family ever made $50,000 a month or more. No one in this family ever married outside of our race. No one in this family ever, whatever it is, you're going to find 9 out of 10 people that are going to talk you out of it. And then lastly, once you find that opportunity, Once you realize you're the person to make it happen, you have to take action. You see, no transformation can ever occur. You can't go from where you are to where you want to go without action. So what are you going to do about it? And that's really very important to understand. It's your actions that will get you there. So to fast forward, we moved to the United States. I was set back 2 years. It taught me the discipline of studying. Studying is not about being smart. It's about being disciplined and doing the work. So I became one of the best students in my school. I graduated top of my class, 100.7 average in 1 year of college. I made up 1 year of that 2 years that I was set back for not speaking the language. Then I went to a pre-med school. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I was accelerating my pre-med education. So within 2 years, I was going to go into medical school, but then I was involved in a car accident. And that car accident led me to a chiropractor that introduced me to the world of holistic health, introduced me to the importance of the nervous system, introduced me to the importance of my healthy behaviors. So there were 3 things that chiropractor shared with me that I want you to understand during this difficult time. Number 1, your body is designed to heal itself. Understand that right now, no matter what you're hearing out there, your body has a mechanism full of systems and organs designed and prepared to fight this virus off, right? Some of us, as you know, are immune compromised. That means our immune systems are not working as well. So we become more susceptible, just like the flu, right? Out of a kid, let's say you have a classroom of 30 kids in school. And out of those 30 kids, 25 get sick and 5 don't get the flu. Why do you think that is? Because those 5 have an immune system that was a little stronger, that was able to fight the flu virus, and the other ones did not. So they got sick. And that's how this virus needs to be viewed also. And then the last thing is that of all the systems in the body, the nervous system is important. That's why I always encourage people to look and evaluate themselves with chiropractic care, because I wrote my first book, was called Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul. In 1 month, we had over 6,000 stories of patients that were telling us how chiropractic really helped them be healthy, got over illnesses, be able to be at their best so they can win a gold medal. Whatever the case may be, chiropractic really helps you. So that's the reason that I became a chiropractor. And then lastly is that you want to not manage symptoms, but you want to look for the root cause of disease. The reason I chose not to become a surgeon and become a chiropractor is because I wanted to help people discover what was causing them to become sick. And that's called lifestyle choices. So that's why for the last 6 years, I've been Fox News healthy living expert in order to be able to do that. So I became a doctor. Then I practiced for 10 years in Dallas, Texas, had a big practice. Then I was asked to be president of a university, Parker University, my alma mater. I did that for 13 and a half years. I completely went from healthcare to education. And remember, when you're in transition, you're carrying the successes of one environment into another one. So don't ever be afraid of transitioning in life. And then lastly, for the last 8 years, I've been doing media. So I do the Dr. Phil Show, The Doctors, Fox News, and many others, and lecture pretty much once a week somewhere in the world. So in a nutshell, that's where I've lived my life over the last 33 years, and something that I feel very honored to have done.
Okay, so for everybody taking notes, and I hope you're taking notes, I learned from my mentors a long time ago, never trust your fortune to your memory. But there were so many little nuggets that he just shared with us that can absolutely change your world, and I want to highlight a couple of them. Number one, he talked about listening to others, how 9 out of 10 people that you share information with will say it's never happened before. What makes you think that can happen with you? And Dr. Fab, that's exactly what happened to me. I ended up bankrupt and car repossessed and couldn't make it through college. And I had people remind me, say, look, you failed for 7 years at everything you've attempted. What makes you think that you can go out and do the things that you want to do? And so that's why I think it's very important right now. You have to guard the portals of your mind. And I remember the late billionaire Paul Meyer taught me that. You know, no stinking thinking. Sometimes we have to tell the ones that we love and care about, our friends, our family, hey, be positive or be quiet, right? Take a checkup from your neck up sometimes, because one negative comment in the book, As a Man Thinketh, is 17 times more powerful than a positive comment. And so listening to other people, who you associate with, show me your closest friends, I will show you your future. Your associations like an elevator, they lift you up or they bring you down. So I'm so glad you talked about that. Another bullet point that you said, action. Knowledge is not power. You didn't go out and just learn stuff, you put it into action. Knowledge is potential power. So I highlighted that in my notes. And then you talked about study and you had discipline to do the work. That's the key. Right now, I heard someone say the other day, they go, listen, ask yourself this question right now, if you're not working on you, because we've all had a big wake up call recently, right? There's so many people I'm talking to going, listen, I never want to be in this situation again. And I want to make sure that from now on I have a plan B, or I don't want all my eggs in one basket because the bottom just fell out of my basket. And so this person said, listen, ask yourself, if you're not growing and learning right now, either you're not disciplined. It's not that you don't have time. It's we're not disciplined, or we have to say to ourselves, it's just not a priority. So I love the fact that not only do you have the discipline, but you did the work, right? You made up and you did 2 years worth of work in 1 year, and you hit the top of your class. And the last note that I had before we go a little bit further is you talked about what led you to where you are right now was a car accident. So actually what could have been really bad, what you could have used as an excuse, that obstacle led to elevation. And it took me a long time to realize that obstacles lead to elevation. And as we're going through these challenging times, Dr. Fab, tell me if you agree with this. I believe that and as a matter of fact, you're the one that reinforced this when I went to your mastermind event and you had, Mark Victor Hansen speak and Les Brown and Dr. Amen and just, all these great people. And you talked about, think about the questions that you ask yourself. Like not why do bad things happen to me? Why am I always having bad luck? So if you don't mind, talk about that a little bit, because you talked about questions and your self-talk and the perspective when you're going through challenges like we're going through right now.
And that's very appropriate. I can tell you right now that the new science says that the average individual has almost 70,000 thoughts a day. 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had the day before. So we're creatures of habits. We repeat ourselves a lot. And 80% of those are negative in nature. So our subconscious mind is full of mostly negativity. So you have to work extra hard to be positive. And I remember one thing that Albert Einstein said that I never forgot, and that is, you can't solve the problems of today with the same level of thinking that created them. So you have to do two things in order to change who you are right now. And this crisis is only an opportunity, not only for growth, an opportunity to actually become the person you were destined to become. I really believe that, because primarily, if you look right now in your history, you will find that the things that allow you to propel in life were never the easy moments in life. They were always the hard moments of life, because during the hard moments of life, what happens? You pause, you begin to question, and you begin to do different things, because you know what the way that you were doing things are not going to lead you to where you want to do. So I found in the last 35 years of personal development that there's two things that will allow you to change. One is the way you think about what you're going through right now. So look, you can look at this pandemic as a negative thing. I'm going to become a victim. I'm just going to survive from now on. I won't even know that if I'll be able to feed my family by next week, right? Or you can look at it from a positive perspective and saying, you know what? Everybody's been hit with this. What can I do with what I know, with what I've been trained as, with my experience in life? What can I do right now to help people more than I've ever helped them before? And you go into that mode of productivity. And like me, like Darin, we have been working harder than ever, not because we need to work, right? Yes, we've been hit like everybody else, but because we realize that the opportunity is to serve. It's not to receive, it's to serve, it's to share. And that's what we're doing it. And the other thing is that you have to change the way you do things. So what are you going to do different now that you're in this position? You can't expect to do the same things that you were doing before, because many of us can't go to work. Many of us can't drive a car. Many of us can't even get out of our home. Many of us have our children there when we're not expecting to have our children 24/7. We have a lot of issues, so you can't act the same way. So what are you going to do different? And lastly, there's one thing that I would ask you to ask yourself right now. When Darin said, what questions should we be asking ourselves right now? It's not only how am I going to think differently about this, or what can I do differently about this, but the third thing that I want to impress upon you is who are you going to be through this? Who are you going to be after this? Because you should be thinking about the person that you're becoming right now because of this, right? The pandemic is not against you. It wasn't done to you. It was done for you, right? If you look at that, the universe conspired to bring this shutting down the world, shutting down the businesses, shutting down the stock market, shutting down all these sports events for your benefit. What would that look like? Now you begin to think differently about the whole experience, which will lead you to different outcomes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And first of all, everyone, when Dr. Fab talked about his sexy Colombian accent, I agree. My accent is not sexy.
But you got the rule.
And let me just say something. If you all, put it in the comments below. If you're going to be operated on, somebody's going to work on you and adjust you and all that. Do you want them talking like Dr. Fab, or do you want to have them come in and talking like me? We just going to take and twist this. And no, you don't want that, right? His accent is sexier and it sounds a lot more intelligent than my accent. So I agree with you on that one. That's another lesson. Have fun, no matter what. I mean, it's the quote that I heard Les Brown say multiple times. It's not what happens around you. That's not as important as what happens within you. And so have fun. There's always a reason to be thankful and grateful. And I have never been more grateful in my entire life. I've actually, on a daily basis, it's almost like a game. I just say, how many things can I thank God for in a day, no matter how small? Maybe it's a walk, maybe it's fresh air, maybe it's my pillow. True story, the other night, I'm like, oh, thank you, God, for my soft pillow and a nice mattress. And, and so then the health of my family, there's so much to be thankful for. But he said a couple other things I want to make sure I bring your attention to, because again, these are life-changing moments. And when he talked about asking the right questions, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day that has a traditional business. And I go, listen, we may look back, if we have the right perspective and we ask ourselves, how can we grow through these times? How can we serve more people? How can we add more value? I go, you may look back because your business may have steadily grown over the next several years, but because this shook you up, it's going to cause you to be more resourceful, more creative, more intentional. It's going to give you more urgency. And so you're going to look back and go, man, it's not the easy times that make us grow. We don't grow in easy times. So we choose, it can be a stumbling block or a building block. It can make us bitter or better. And I know I say that all the time, but it's so true. It's not just a hypey, motivational saying. It's so true. And when you talked about the same thinking that got us where we are is not what will get us to where we want to be. That is so true, and so what you have to think about what you're thinking about. And like Dr. Fab said, the negative thoughts are almost like weeds. You do not have to fertilize weeds. You have to fight them, you have to block them, and you have to fuel the positive. So block the negative, fuel the positive. And let's see, and one more thing, that it was a story that I heard Rick Warren talking about the other day, Dr. Fab, where he met this guy that worked at a lumber yard, a sawmill, his entire life. That's really all he knew. And so his boss walked in one day with no notice and said, you're done. We got to lay you off. And he was initially devastated, but then his wife said, hey, what are we going to do? And he's like, I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do. We're going to mortgage your house, and I'm going to go out and start building. And his first two projects were little hotels. Well, that was the co-founder of Holiday Inn. And within 5 years, he was a multimillionaire, and said if he could find the person that laid him off, he would take him to dinner, give him a gift, a thank you card, because it ended up being one of the biggest blessings of his life. So great points. So, all right, so we've talked about so much stuff already.
Let's talk a little bit about the health.
The health, yes. So right now with people, wanting to make sure they take care of their health and their family, what do you recommend we do to protect the ones we love and care about along with ourselves?
Well, I'm a big believer that we have some very smart people right now with the task force and the CDC that are making recommendations. I think that we have seen that the majority of people have submitted to those recommendations, including me. And hopefully we are getting through this faster than otherwise. So I would say become aware of what those guidelines are, become aware of what the CDC continues to recommend for us to be able to stay healthy. Now, on a personal level, I've always realized that I can't control the circumstances around me, but I can control how I respond to them. So I don't want to stop there. Yes, I can wash my hands for 20 seconds. Yes, I can be able to practice social distancing. Yes, I'm going to stay home rather than to go to my office. Yes, I can do all of those things, right? Be protective. Uh, but these are the things that I really want you to be thinking about, that I feel that what I've done and what I've done with my children and my family, that's making a big difference. Number one, make sure you sleep well. Remember that sleeping well is essential for you to have a healthy nervous system and a healthy immune system. So there's a lot of science behind sleep. But right now, what concerns me the most is that there's a lot of people that are worried, they're anxious, they're depressed, and they're not sleeping very well. So try to sleep as much as you can. You know, I usually use CBD before I go to bed, and that helps me tremendously calm my body. And I usually tend to sleep very well. And I use another product called Eternal that I like too, just because it helps me. The second thing is you want to eat healthy. This is not the time. And let me tell you, I've been in the grocery store. The aisles with all the chips and the cookies and the sugars and all the preserved foods like bread, they're completely empty. But then you go to the vegetable aisles, and what do they find? They're full. I want you to know that this is a time for you to really feed yourself as many vegetables as possible. If you don't like vegetables per se, or you're a salad person, then use them or at least blend them. I do a smoothie that is full of vegetable. That is one of the most delicious drinks I've ever made, but it's full of vegetables because I can't just eat raw vegetables all the time, but I know how important they are for me. If this is also a time to fast, I've been practicing intermittent fasting. So, you know, intermittent fasting doesn't tell you what to eat, but it tells you when to eat. So if you can fast for 16 to 18 hours and then eat in a window of 8 to 6 hours, your body's going to do much better during this difficult time than if you eat throughout the whole day. From the moment you wake up, because what happens? Right now, there's a lot of people without a lack of activity. And the lack of activity makes us crave a lot of the carbs. So we need to make sure we do the next thing, and that is you got to work out every day. Look, I'm asking you, you don't have to do an hour, you don't have to do 2 hours, but even if you do 20 minutes, 20 solid minutes where you run in place really hard for 2 minutes and then stop for 2 minutes, run in place really hard for 2 minutes, do jumping jacks, do sit-ups, do push-ups, things that you can do at home. Yes, there's some great YouTube videos. My kids, they put the YouTube videos every day and they're working out together, which is a blessing because now they're getting so fit because they made that part of their routine. So I want you to make sure you move your body during this time as much as possible. The other one that I wrote about in my book, The Power of Self-Healing, this is the time to pray and meditate. I want you to know we have a lot of science that says when you pray and you meditate, you tend to heal faster. Your body seems to be stronger. Your immune system is stronger. So you're going to be better off when you do it than when you don't. So make sure that you take at least 15 minutes a day and do that. If you want to do that more, even better. And then also, this is the time to really connect with people. This social distancing is already making a lot of people very depressed because we're not creatures to be alienated from each other. We're creatures that we're supposed to be with each other. So whether it's 2 people in your household or 4 or 6, I want to make sure that you spend quality time with them. Become a good listener. Let me tell you, being a good listener is one of the essentials of having a good relationship. Become a good listener instead of talking all the time. Ask people in your family, honey, what can I do to be a better husband? What can I do to be a better wife? Ask your children, what can I do to be a better mom, a better dad? You know, ask yourself, what can I do to be a better person today? You know, but if you do that on a consistent basis and you're a good listener, all of a sudden you're going to start implementing some great habits. And the last one that I will give you is you got to drink plenty of water. This is an important time to hydrate your body. There's a lot of people that are stuck at home. They're not getting fresh air. You know, if you have a patio or balcony, at least get out, get a little bit of sun. That vitamin D is essential for your body to stay healthy and for immune system to do well. So make sure you hydrate your body quite a bit with at least 10 glasses of water a day, minimum 10 glasses of water a day. And that will help you also maintain your body hydrated throughout this difficult time.
Awesome. And for some reason, I didn't even know my wife was paying attention, but she just said, "Hey, can you get Dr. Fab to repeat the be a good listener to you once again?" I don't know what she's talking about. Hey, those are your chips and cookies, not mine. Just two. So, hey, Dr. Fab, last night I went to the bar, okay, which was in our kitchen, and I was, hitting on my wife, and unfortunately, she gave me a fake number, so that was bad. And she locks me out the house every day and said it's part of social distancing. She saw an article about it. I don't know if it's true or not, but she locks me out every day for a certain period of time.
I wanted to be sleeping in that office of yours.
That's right. Awesome. Well, let me ask you this. Before I ask you one last thing, we hit our last topic. Did you want to say anything else about personal development? And I'm going to put your site up for those that want to get, you want to talk about what you have on your site?
Well, as you know, I've written 4 books. I wrote a new book in personal development, and it's actually being sold right now in New York. And it'll be out probably at the end of this year. But what I would like to do is offer you my first chapter at no charge, just so you can get an idea of how powerful it is. And what I did is, for the last 35 years, I began to reflect upon the most powerful lessons that I've learned from the most influential people in the world, and how those lessons can impact our lives and get us through any difficult time, including this time. It's full of exercises that you can do. It's full of tips that you can begin to do immediately. It's a book that is really how to do it. And if you just go to my website, which is right here, you can just put your information there and you automatically will receive an email. And also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I mean, I'm a resource. I may have something that I can share with you that I may have handy. But if you're going through a difficult time, don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me through my website also. But that's kind of like my gift to you, Darin, for loving you so much. No one has seen this chapter. The book is not even out. It hasn't even been sold in a publisher. So you'll be the first ones to grab something that will be, no doubt, another best-selling book.
Awesome. And last but not least, if you don't mind, I know that you're a fan of network marketing, and we have a lot of network marketers on here. Why would someone who's a best-selling author on TV, in all the things we've talked about, why would you choose network marketing as a vehicle? We won't mention companies or products or anything like that, but why would you pick network marketing as a vehicle when it comes to building a business?
Well, it's interesting because some of the most influential people that I know, and I know you know many of them too, are people that have been in network marketing for years. And they have always shared with me that it was one of the best ways to create that residual income. Now, when I look at the network marketing business, and I know that this is being taught in some of the biggest Ivy League colleges in the United States and the world, let me tell you what I see that maybe other people don't see as clearly as I do. I've been, as you know, a healthcare provider. I've been an educator. I've been an entrepreneur for over 35 years. I'm a very well-educated individual. But I'm going to tell you what network marketing does that I don't see in any other industry. Number one, where else can you start your own business with typically less than $1,000 or maybe less than $2,000? I can tell you, I've had multiple business. I own 4 companies right now. And there is no way that I can even start any of them with less than $50,000 investment, right? Because you have to set up the corporations, you have to set up this, you have to get maybe an office, you have to have staff. So I'm here to tell you that, to me, for anyone out there that is thinking of starting their own business, this is the way to go, because it's a low entry point that anyone can do it pretty much. Even if you have to put that into a credit card and then work really hard your first month to pay it off, I would encourage you to look into that. The number 2, I've never seen a business. Remember that 9 out of 10 businesses that start out fail. Why? Because of under capital, but also lack of support. In network marketing, you will have your own business, but you have all these people above you that their sole interest is to help you succeed. From the owners of the company to the people that sponsor you, to the people that are working alongside with you. These are people that are invested in your success. Now, I've never had anybody from the outside come to me and said, "Hey, Fab, I wanted you to be successful. What can I do to you? What can I do for you today? Who can we call? Who can we do a 3-way call? Who can we do a meeting with?" I mean, this is a constant effort that you see in network marketing, but you don't see in any other business. And lastly, I would say is the compensation. compensation by which now you're getting paid not only for the effort that you do on the short term, but you're getting paid on the effort that you do long term. So the more you work short term, right, your first 90 days are the most critical. You're going to get paid on those 90 days for the rest of the time that you maintain yourself within that company. So that could be 20 years, that could be 30 years, that could be 5 years. It doesn't matter, but that's a beautiful thing. That residual income is really what I was looking for, because I do have all these other business, but they depend on me, right? The majority of them, to be able to bring money in. But how great it is that you can make money from somebody else's effort. I've never seen another model like that. So those three things that, Darin, I can tell you, fascinate me at network marketing. And one of the things that I really respect a lot of people for not letting the naysayers, the people that were not willing to work and do the work on the first 90 days or the first year of their business, talk you out of and rob you perhaps out of this dream. But let me tell you this. There was just in the last 2 weeks over 10 million people filed on the unemployment. I want you to know that the fourth thing that I would tell you is because this is your business. No one can take it away, and you can do it from anywhere you are. As long as you have a cell phone, as long as you have a computer, you can be anywhere and build this business. So now all those unemployed people are looking for what are they going to do to make up for their paycheck that they're not receiving. This is the best time for people to look at network marketing as a potential opportunity, and just give it an opportunity. Do not judge it just because somebody else told you it didn't work for them. Yes, you're going to find, like any other industry, that less than 30% of the industry is successful in any industry. But when you listen to that 70% that says, oh, I tried it. Yeah, I made my investment back, but I haven't made really any good money. Don't think it is network marketing. Always know that is the person. Because at the same time, if you ask a different person in the same company with the same amount of time, maybe even below that person, and they are killing it, it makes you realize it was never network marketing. It was never that company. It was never anything but the person themselves.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you. I mean, it's like people going, Dr. Fab, you go to a gym? Oh my gosh, didn't you hear that gyms are scams? I know people who go to the gym and they're still out of shape. It's not that gyms don't work, it's people don't work. And I remember that when my wife and I were partners with 2 franchises, the investment was $700,000. And we would make more money in 1 month in our network marketing business back when I was a distributor than we would the entire year with both those franchises, with no employees and no overhead. But like you said, the downside is because the investment is less than the price of a smartphone, a lot of times people, they don't treat it serious. And so what's easy to do is easy not to do. But I definitely think it's one of the best business models on the planet. And like you said, there's never been a time before you had to sell people, hey, look, you probably want a plan B. You probably don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. What would happen if you got laid off or, downsized, or your company went out of business? And you really don't have to do that anymore. And so the options are, what do I do? Do I learn how to market online, through social media with network marketing? Or do I go open a traditional business? Well, right now, there's not a lot of people that really want to go do that because your name's going to be on a lease for several years like mine was. And then people are quarantined. They can't even go to a business, to do business. So Dr. Fab, we really appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to add before we close out? You've given us so much great information and value.
Thank you. I would just say that one of the best decisions or the finances advices that I've received in my life were 2. Number 1, start saving as early as possible because of compound interest. That means compound interest means that your money will multiply over time. So the earlier you save, the more money you make in the long term. And the second one is always have multiple streams of income, at least 4. That's what I've been taught by some of the wealthiest people that I know. So don't ever put all your eggs in one basket because you never know what disruption is going to happen. This thing that happened with us will happen again, and it could be a lot worse. And the reason we know that is because if it happened already, what are the chances that it won't happen again? So they will happen again, most likely. So you have to be ready. So why not begin to build right now where you have the ability to work your business from anywhere? And on the last note, Darin, I would just say, look, in life, you can't really control the things that are happening to us, right? And I can tell you that in my life, I've been very grateful during this time because there's been a lot of blessings in this whole thing. The fact that I'm here with the person I love and my children and all that, that's a blessing in itself. And I'm stuck here, but I'm enjoying every minute. But at the same time, what am I doing? I'm working like I never worked before in 35 years because this is the time more people need me the most to share with them what to do during this difficult time. So I want you to be thinking of yourself right now and say, how can I serve more now than I've ever served? What can I do right now to help those around me? And get yourself out of the depression and out of your loneliness and out of your anxiety and all of this isolation that you've gotten yourself into, and start contributing to others. And I promise you, you're going to see tremendous results from that.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I'll put at the top of my page, I put separation season. When you were talking, I'm like, you know what? This is separation season. If we want something different than the masses, we have to do something different than the masses. We know it's going to pass. It always does. You know, this too shall pass. And, you know, Rick Warren says you're either in a storm, going out of a storm, or getting ready to go back into a storm. That's life. So we know it's going to pass. And we're going to look back and we're going to say, hey, you know what did I do during those times to make an impact, to make a difference, to give, to serve, you know, to grow personally. And so I'm going to put this on my whiteboard as soon as we get off of this separation season. Doing today what most won't do to have tomorrow what most won't have. So Dr. Fab, I can't thank you enough. I'm seeing all of you in the comments below. Please let Dr. Fab know how much you appreciate him jumping on board. We've got, thank you, Dr. Fab Mancini. And we've got, let's see here, what else do we have? We got Brian that says, great points, Dr. Fab.
Thank you.
Chantel, thank you so much, Dr. Fab. We got so many people that are thankful for everything. We've got, let's see who else we have. We got Jacina that says, such informational content. Thank you. All right. Well, listen, and the comments just keep coming in. Bob LaFew. Hey, Bob. Thank you so much. We got Becky Turner. These are friends of mine. All right. Some of y'all didn't even know I had any friends, right? But I've got a couple. Becky Turner, right? We got so many. So anyway, well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Continue to share, tag people. This was such an encouraging and positive and uplifting message. And right now, people need to hear the positive. The negative is hitting them at every turn. So make sure you share this to your groups, share this to your organizations, tag people that need a little uplift in their day, and let Dr. Fab do that for you. So appreciate you, Dr. Fab. Have a blessed day. Thanks, everyone. And we will see you on the next live. Take care.